Alright, so from linear we went to quadratic relations. So one of the things that we need to do is to be able to identify like terms. We've already been doing this with x and y, but what we end up doing is the exponents start changing. So a like term must have the same letters and exponents. Right? And the exponents are that small number that's up above. The letters are there. It doesn't matter if the numbers are the same, the coefficients, which is the number in front. So the like terms in this case, I want to look at this. This is an x squared. This is a y squared. So even though the exponents are the same, the letters are not the same, or the base. And here we have an x and a y squared, which that has a y, but that doesn't have an x, so those aren't like. And now we have a 6x squared. So I'm looking at the x squared. The like terms in this case are these two, 3x squared and 6x squared. And that's because of the x and the squared are the same. The number in front just says how many there are. Sometimes I do x with a little, so I don't get it confused with the multiplication sign. So I can identify each of the following polynomials as monomial, binomial, or trinomial. Well, what does mono mean? It means one. Bi, like in bicycle, means two. And tri, like a tricycle, means three. And it just is referring to the number of terms. Okay, and the number of terms that are actually different. So an example of a monomial, it could just be a number, or it could be 7xy, or it could be 35x squared b cubed. As long as there's only one term, one term, one term, one term. In one term, there can still be a coefficient, a variable, and an exponent. All right? A binomial means that there are two terms. Okay, so it could be 3 plus 7x squared. That has two terms. And a trinomial, okay, has three terms. So I could do x squared plus 3y minus 7. Three terms. 1, 2, 3. They have to be you can't simplify them. So something like 3x squared plus 7x squared, you might look at that and say there's two terms, but in fact that can simplify to 10x squared, so that's actually a monomial. Alright, so that wouldn't be a trinomial, that'd be a monomial. There'd only really be one term. Or sorry, could not be a trinomial, couldn't be binomial because there's two terms, but those two terms can simplify to one. Alright, so that's just kind of a little aside. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is we had to distribute. So when we multiply terms, the exponents change. Alright, when we multiply with the same base. And what we're talking about is the same letter. Multiplying terms, the exponent change when multiplying with the same letter. Okay, so there's a couple ways that we did this. I'll show you the two ways that we did this. Some people like to use these arrows to distribute, and some people like to use the box method. So the first one I'll do is just distributing. So what we do is when this is out in front, we need to multiply them out. I'm going to pause here and I'll start the video again in a minute.